Welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about some of the interesting facts about Tableau. In the sense, is the market really there for Tableau for us to really view or go in depth and invest our time and money in learning Tableau? And then we will talk about some of the Tableau public workbooks that are available and see how they look like, because that's kind of a great way for us to start on to see what Tableau is capable of. So the job market for Tableau is really good and is growing dramatically. There are other business intelligence reporting tools that are available in the market like business objects, MicroStrategy and stuff. But if you look at some of the job posting websites, the amount of Tableau resources is pretty heavy. Rather than I telling you, why don't we right now go and see what is the job market like for Tableau. So when I go to tableau.com, I'm going to something called monster.com, and when you look at, let's say I'm just searching for Tableau, so if you look at it, it literally has over 1,000 jobs that are being found, and if you see, it is present across in United States. So if you can see, it's present in all big cities in United States, and if you see, you have a lot of jobs that are being posted. So let's see by the date and see. So if you see, the jobs are being posted as we speak, like today is 6/19, and if you can see, there are jobs that are being posted each and every day. So this kind of gives you an idea that Tableau is one of the tools that the are heavily recruited and that is in very high demand. So investing your time and money in learning Tableau is something that I would say is one of the best decisions you would take in recent times. So let's look at other things, right? Like MicroStrategy. So when you look at MicroStrategy, it as well has some of the job postings and stuff, but it's not as it's not as different as in Tableau's case. So rather than to see that, let's go to Dice to see how many real jobs we have. In Dice, we can basically see how many jobs we really have when we post something. So let's say I have Tableau, and the reason I see only 6 is because it's in my area where I'm in. So if you see, if you see, Amazon has some of the postings, Deloitte has some of the postings, where we have looks like about 1,000 postings for Tableau right now, which is pretty big. Whereas when you compare to MicroStrategy or something, if you just see on MicroStrategy, let's see how many we have there. It has only 402. So you have almost double the number of, you can see that it has only 412. And MicroStrategy has been there for a very long time. So what I'm trying to say is the job market is growing continuously for Tableau, and it has amazing companies looking for them. So if you look at it, like as I said, Amazon, which is one of our, which is pretty big company, as most of you know, is looking for a Tableau specialist. So this is a really good tool for you to learn and apply in your day-to-day work. So that's what we did. We really looked at the job market online. We went and looked at the job market on the web, and we really realized that we have 400 odd jobs for MicroStrategy, whereas we have 1,050 jobs for Tableau. So that really talks. The metric itself talks. And we also looked at data business intelligence, some of the business intelligence like MicroStrategy, and data analytics as such is really growing in the market with so much amount of data available. There are a lot of medical companies as well coming into data analytics. So to talk about data analytics, maybe you don't realize that it is being used in your day-to-day life when you go to Amazon.com or Netflix, or for that matter any place that predicts what you're going to buy next. So anywhere you buy anything, they say, hey, go and use this. Or some place, you, for example, you watch a movie on Netflix, you give the rating, and based on that it gives you what are your next best predictions. So analytics is one of the really fast growing sectors, and definitely you would want to drill down because it's growing right now. You can go along with it. So there is something called Viz of the Day. We will this section in the Viz of the Day part of this video. I would like to walk through you about through the Tableau.com to see, to see what you can find out there. And the Viz of the Day is something Tableau has, where you can submit your work in Tableau public to Tableau, and they would publish one per day, one of the best things that they saw on the public per day. And that is really helpful because it tells you how people are using the publicly available data, which has been there for a long time for that matter, how people are using it and visualizing it. So why don't we go back again to see what it is. So I am at tableau.com. As you can see, it's www.tableau.com. So once you go there and you go to stories, then you will see something called Tableau Viz Gallery. So once you click in there, you can basically see different Tableau workbooks that have been there and which are exposed. So you can see, for example, let's say motivate sales by modeling commission rates. Let's click on that and see what happens. So if you see what the developer of this kind of dashboard is trying to say is, he's kind of giving you some kind of analytics where you're giving like what happens when your commission rate is 5.3%. See, if you see it, everything is being recalculated at the fly, and how things are, like you have certain salespersons and how they are performing. For example, like Elizabeth Miller has been achieving really great, whereas Donald Michel is not really doing great. So this is one. I mean, this might not be a really great example, but this is one of the examples. So let's see what happens with the map a city crime by type. So if you see, in this case, looks like they are mapping the city's crime in certain places in the District of Columbia, which is Washington DC, and they are basically saying by, I think it's by the county or something, by day what is the probability of having a problem. So they are kind of giving you, so there is a 25% chance of having a theft versus 16% of robbery and stuff like that. And the good thing about this is all of this is publicly available data, so you can click here download and you can download it, and you can also see if there are other workbooks that have been submitted by this one. So we will walk through just one more thing to see, about, okay, this is pretty interesting. Rank the countries that import and export most oil. So why don't we click that and see? So this if you see is one of the pretty decent ones. So like if you see, let's see what is happening. So US and Virgin Islands. So looks like these are one of the top per day, thousands of barrels. Like I think about 3,800 is being used. So that kind of says that we are going down by 3% when you compare it to the year. And in Qatar, we are really going down. The usage is pretty much going down. So if you click at any of this, it tells you how much oil were imported and how much it looks like there is no exporting of oils. So looks like Australia is pretty good at exporting. What is this? Is it Australia? Yeah, so looks like we can even drill down into one area and see what place is. So if you can see, I just highlighted that and I got the results for that. So okay, looks like the Middle West is pretty good. The Qatar, Saudi and stuff like that. If you see, Saudi is pretty much importing heavily. And I can even select which region I want to analyze in this case. So let's say I want to analyze Europe. I can look at just Europe's data in detail in Europe, what is happening. And the data is right now from 2009. So I can say, okay, give me the data for 2005. So basically you can play with the data. If you see in 2005 Norway was doing good. In 2006 it was kind of doing good, but it was still going down. If you look at the numbers for Norway, it's pretty much going down every year by year after year. So just looking at all of this, you can say that you can see what it is. So you can say how many things to display. Like in this case, we want only, let's say, top 6. We only get top 6 in this, and if you want more than 6, we can say we can get 15. We basically can get 15 in this case, and you can select all. So if you see, the amount of data that it is being analyzed at this point is pretty huge. So this is one area I would suggest to submit your work once you're proficient in Tableau, because that is something really good. And if you see the color coding conventions, it says which one is the importer, which one is the exporter. So just like for example, Qatar is an exporter, Arab is an importer, and US is an importer. So you have so much amount of data. If you see the legend, how big it is and stuff like that. So much amount of data being told in this simple one graph. As I said, you can download it and you can play with it. So let's look at the other things that we have on Tableau. So we have Tableau Desktop, Tableau Server, Tableau Online. As we talked about in our other sections, Tableau Mobile is something pretty new. This is where you have an app of Tableau on your iPad where you can still open and work with your workbooks. Story is where you have Tableau giving you different case studies on how different people use Tableau. So we talked about Wish of the World Wish Gallery. So I would recommend you to go there. Learning Tableau has some free online tutorials just in case you're stuck up somewhere. That's a great way of going back, but with you would not really get the experience of what I'm talking about in the course. So that's the reason we would have this course, and I would encourage you to continue with this course. Community is Tableau has a great user base you could have expected because of the number of jobs there are and number of people working on it. There is a huge user community. So if you have any questions, you can just go to the forums, and you can find a lot of solutions online, which is very important. If the technology is not supported online, it's very difficult, especially when you're stuck. So, and Tableau, if you bought Tableau, then you can have the support, and they are very quick, and they solve it right about for you. So that's it with the walkthrough and Whiz of the Day galleries for Tableau. So let's go back and see what we just covered. We talked about the job market for Tableau, how strong it is, and how it's almost double the amount that other ones have. We talked about Wish of the Day in Tableau and how it is very useful. Then we talked about Tableau.com walkthrough. So this is kind of very interesting for me because the way Tableau grew, it started in 2007, and less than 10 years, it's really doing miracles out there. It has its own great job market, and it's an amazing tool. So in the next video, we will talk about introduction of installing, on how we will talk about introduction to installing and how we can install Tableau. Thanks for joining me.